Prepare your booty holes and your ear holes for an hour of us just penetrating it nice and slow.
1 hour, baby.
ASMR. Diddy rubbing.
The Diddy rubbing.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Diddy documentary? It's actually pretty good.
On
What a
what?
way to start out. ASMR, then straight to Diddy documentaries. This has got to be a record.
What's the platform? I have not heard of this.
It was on, you know what?
That's a good question. We'll ask our research team, Google.
Was it Hulu?
Fox did that?
It's the downfall of Diddy. No, I don't think that's Diddy's downfall, I think is what it's called. No, there's only one episode. What was it? There's a me and T-Dog watched it the other day. Fall of Diddy, I think is what it is.
It's
Peacock.
Yeah, Peacock has it.
Hulu has it too. It's on ID channel. So it's 5 episodes. It's pretty good. I mean, like a lot of the stuff you kind of know, but there's some shit that I had no idea, like stuff about his life, and like it talks a lot about like. Did you guys know that he like promoted some like rapper basketball game and a bunch of people got trampled?
No.
No.
I had no idea. It happened in like the 90s. Like it was either like mid 90s or something like that. Apparently it was like a celebrity like rapper basketball game, and he was promoting it, and it got so crazy that they oversold the tickets, and people with tickets weren't allowed in because they filled the gymnasium or whatever, and because it wasn't at like a stadium, it was at like a college campus, like the college he was going to, and people got pissed, so they started to try to break in, and the people were getting smushed against the doors, and they got trampled and died. Yeah, it was wild. I didn't know about it. So yeah, if you want to know more about that shit, it's actually pretty good.
Was there a charity basketball game promoted by P. Diddy and Heavy D? Nearly 5,000 people got trampled or tried to get into gymnasium. It only held 2,730, and shit broke loose. 9 people were killed.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was 6 or 7. I thought at least.
Do you think that's like the origin story? Is that what gave him like the thirst of killing? You know, he's like, hey, I'm gonna start killing people left and right, and also, damn, their buttholes look good when they're dead. You know, I mean,
well, apparently his dad died when he was like super young, and his mom was like a total, and basically told him like, don't you come home getting bullied. You take care of it yourself. Like she was like a total about everything. So I mean, she's probably the origin story, but
you missed out on being a black Dexter.
Oh, you could have been Dexter?
Messed out, man. Missed out.
I mean, he kind of was. He just didn't use all the tarps. He uses a lot of baby oil, you know?
They're like, oh, he can never pin this on me. Why? There's too much baby oil. You know, just like dilutes the blood. And the semen. I don't ever have enough time to watch any of that stuff. And I'm afraid my kids, when they walk by, are going to like, Dad, what are you watching? Is that Diddy? And I'm like, it's a shame they know more about him than I do.
I mean, it's like an ID channel show, so it's not like it's they're like going into full on detail or shit. But it was pretty good. I feel like we were super. When was that, babe?
What?
When we watched the Diddy documentary.
It was the day after we went to the card show.
Okay, yeah, we got pretty drunk. So I went to a card show here in Philly, like a sports card show, Pokemon card show, and the deal was I had to get her drunk to go. So we pre-gamed. Ubered there. It was at a casino, so obviously you guys know me by now. I was like, yeah, this is perfect. So we're hitting 24-ounce pounders. She's, and then drinking vodka, and then we went down to the tables. The casino's total dog shit. I hate that casino. I hated it before. I hate it worse now because I play roulette. Okay, I love roulette. It's a game you could sit down at a table, you talk to the people, you could play for a while. Well, I don't like playing $5 chips. I play inside. And at this casino, you can only play $5 chips inside. So I handed this guy $100 and he handed me 12 chips, 20 chips. I'm like, what is this? I said, singles. He goes, we don't do singles. I'm like, so doubles. We don't do doubles. I'm like, and like you lose money super fast. Like when you're playing, like I like to sit for a while, You know, you hit big. That's great, but I don't know. I hated it. So we were there for, of course, T-Dog doubled up her money, my money, because I gave her $100 to gamble with me, and we left a little down, but and so we were super hungover, and we decided to just watch the Diddy documentary, or we were drunk. I don't know, one or the other.
You're like, hey, I feel like diddling. You want to watch some Diddy?
It was her idea, so
it always is. Roulette is my favorite game as well. I think we've mentioned this before, but it's just a game where whatever I do influences nobody. They can't get mad at me. They can't do nothing. And then I just like it whenever you build like a rapport with the table. And they're like, dude, why are you betting 19 all the time? I'm like, because it always hits. They're like, haven't seen it hit once. I'm like, because it's due, dude. Come on. And everyone starts betting on this thing. Yeah, dude. And just then when it hits, everyone at the table is happy. It's just, I don't know. That's my game too. But I like to mix and match on what I'm betting. But I'm a big, like, if you're putting $10 minimums and stuff like that, that's a little rich for my blood. I want to be able to enjoy $100. Like you said, I want to sit at a table. I want to get a couple free drinks. To the places that even do that anymore, where'd that go?
Dude, the casino, I went to grab a drink. We were like, we played some slots afterwards. And the girl was like, do you have a gold or black card? And I'm like, no. She's like, yeah, then you can't take from this tray. I'm like, what the f are you talking about?
It's for high rollers only.
It was awful, dude.
They have fancy ways of saying you broke bitch. And I'm like,
yeah.
Damn.
Rivers Casino in Philadelphia. Don't go there. It's total dog shit. I hate that casino. Yeah, Clark's is like the best casino in PA.
Gotcha. Yeah, the last casino was down in New Orleans, so I don't really go to many casinos. I mean, the food's tremendous. It's amazing how they've upgraded their food casino or the food like buffets, stuff like that, different restaurants. But not much my thing. The online thing was fun. That one night we did that.
That was probably the most fun. I mean, the VR stuff was great, dude.
We need to get back on the VR like that.
Bring it back.
We need to get on that bad boy again.
Dude, I'm telling you, you guys get a cornhole, bro. It's like $10. We could have a cornhole tournament.
I'm picking up a theme here. We're talking about Diddy, cornholes now. Like, what is a lot of baby oil?
Yeah, I mean, well, after this past weekend, I'm sure Mahomes is never going to want to see baby oil again after he got.
It's kind of fun just being on social media locally, watching the team in the Super Bowl get their asses absolutely handed to them, and just seeing the roller coaster of emotions of everybody and how they quickly flip on their team. You know, I'm just like, this is great. But
so I didn't like think we were gonna win until it was it 34-6 or 34-0?
Really?
What was that? It was 34.
It was 34 to just score a touchdown.
34-0.
Yeah.
Right. That's when the moment we were up 34-0 is when I allowed myself, because come on, guys, we've had games and there's been games in the Super Bowl where people come back and it's Mahomes. Mm-hmm. I didn't allow myself. I mean, I was cheering and freaking out. I lost my voice for 4 days. I couldn't even talk. But I didn't allow my brain to think we won until it was 34-0. And then the icing on the cake is when our backups were in the Super Bowl. Like, not many Super Bowls your backups can come in and play.
No.
Garbage time. Like, how many Super Bowls do you remember there being a garbage time?
No. Seeing Kenny Pickett walk out there was like, oh my God, this is happening. Like, damn, that must be embarrassed right now.
That was the most fun. Look, I see it from both sides. If I wasn't an Eagles fan, I would have turned that Super Bowl off immediately. The commercials were total dog shit. They were probably the worst Super Bowl commercials that they've ever had, and it was a blowout. Like, it just wasn't even fun to watch.
It was fun for me. I enjoy watching the X's and O and just seeing what Philadelphia was doing on defense. They were kind of doing the same thing the Patriots did, the Buccaneers did the last time they played Tom Brady. But just the X's and O's, I'm going crazy. My kids are watching with me. I'll break it down. He's seeing what they're doing and like what Mahomes is doing. He's trying to run. That's all he can do because he's not looking past the field. He's got 3 seconds to get rid of the ball. He's not. And I was just just shouting every time he got hit. Just seeing him get hit the way he did, and seeing Jalen Carter get that. I have a screensaver now of that hand to his face. Just
love
I'm
it.
so happy.
I loved it, and I just know that I myself may never see another Super Bowl with the Eagles crushing someone. I mean, maybe we'll make it back. You never know, But normally, it's like you're biting your nails until the end. I mean, even when we beat the Patriots, he had a Hail Mary, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't catch it. But allowing myself to at some point be like, we're going to win this, but like without any issues whatsoever. And knowing that it's against Mahomes, because I hate that. And it just, it was great, guys. I had a great week. I mean, much better than what happened to me at the start of last week, which I don't think we didn't have a podcast last week. So
no,
if you guys would like to know, Monday started, and you guys know this. I had left my house. I felt that I need to fart, and I farted, but it was like a cannonball fart where you don't know how much collateral damage there's going to be. I just assumed it was going to be like a loud fart, and it wasn't. It was, I shit my pants, and I had no idea because it was just enough for me to not know that I sharted. Sat in it, drove to work, didn't even think about it. I didn't feel it until obviously it was 25 degrees. As I'm walking, I guess the shit had cooled from the wind or whatever. And I'm like, why is there wet in my butt cheeks? Go in. I should do the poop shuffle into my office. Try to make it seem like I'm normal. Put down my bag. Go into the bathroom. Sit down. Look. And I go, God fucking damn it.
God damn.
It was my last pair of underwear before I had to do laundry too. So I'm like, I couldn't even like go home and like put on like a comfortable. It's I had to put on the boxers that like you just don't wear, but they're there for emergencies only. That's where I was at in my boxer drawer. So that's how I started Monday. Then I decided to be nice to take my dad out to lunch because my dad is he's been wanting to kill himself for a year. So we're sitting there, and my dad's talking about all these girls that he's talking to online, which 90% of them probably aren't real, because he's on he's 61.
Impressive. Okay.
So he's talking to all these girls, and he's showing me the one. And he goes, "Oh, look, there's my dick." And I'm like, "Dad, what the fuck?" So I started my week last week shitting my pants and seeing my dad's dick. That's how I started my week. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Especially Cowboys fans. But then we won the Super Bowl, so it made everything that much better. But that was how I started my week last week.
So from what I heard from that was we won the Super Bowl and I have a dad. So, I mean, wow.
100%.
Way to rub it in. Wow, on two ways there.
And I saw his dick.
Yeah. So now, I mean, what if that breaks the curse? Like, what if you have to do that? Would you do that every year to win a Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even think about it. Absolutely.
You just called your dad like, "Hey, Dad, come over here. Can you send that to me again?" Like, son.
Yeah. Send me a new one. Just give me a new chub. I have a half chub, full chub.
Kind of work. He's got to be a big Philly fan too, right?
Oh, yeah. He was at the game. He watched the game. Like, it was me, my mom. My parents are divorced, but he came over. My brother, his wife, one of my buddies who it's like I see him every couple years now because he lives in New York, but like his thing is like we watch the Super Bowl together if the Eagles are in it. And my uncle, it was a bunch of people in a very little trailer, and it was hilarious. But we were screaming, yelling, and it was dude, it was the best game I ever watched. It was can't even explain the emotions. We're crying at the end. We're like we're gonna win. It's like. Because you just never know. I might be dead, and they might not ever go back to the Super Bowl.
Right.
I never thought they'd go back with me being like still like having brown hair and not all gray. I assumed it would be another 10 or 20 years.
I was grinning from ear to ear. I mean, it was disgusting seeing you guys happy and Philly fans happy. But I knew inevitably, the city would burn. So I'm like, yeah, there's a little collateral damage that I can swallow. But just seeing the defeated faces on there, and they're like, well, guys, just think about like how tremendous this run has been and everything else. And I'm like, I'm over there. What I was sharing every meme I could immediately. I lost 6 friends on Facebook within a 24-hour period.
Good job.
And I think what really started getting people to attack me personally was whenever I said, it's really good to see Dak Prescott out there throwing for the Chiefs today. And I was like, I never really thought I'd see him in a Super Bowl. And they go, listen here, you son of a bitch. They're like, that piece of shit couldn't do this. Firstly, you're fat as too, you piece of shit. And I'm like, damn. I was like, you know what? And I hate the fact that they are gloating now about like, well, it could have been worse, we could have lost by a lot more. I was like, you lost 40-6. No, final score was 40-22. And I was like, you lost 40-6. I was like, let's be for real now. I was like, you played the backups. And but they're like, the Eagles are lucky they didn't play Patrick Mahomes in the fourth quarter the entire game. Like, we would have whooped them. And I'm like, what? You guys are so delusional. It is insane.
We played backups for the last 5 minutes?
Yeah. And I said too, I was like, Nick had his hair and everything drenched in Gatorade before you even guys had 20 points. And I was like, what are you talking about?
They were talking about how having your coach Gatorade for the win of the game before the 2-minute warning in the Super Bowl is like unheard of.
It was like 6 minutes left. Yeah. And then they're just like, my son was absolutely devastated. And I had told him, I was like, hey brother, you're going to have to go downstairs. Cause I was like, I can't stop laughing. I was like, and I have no sympathy for you. And he's just like, man, we're just getting absolutely destroyed and everything. And I'm like, yes. And then one of my buddies who is a absolute Chiefs hater, he's actually a Raiders fan, so he has it worse than even I do. Ooh. But he just, he called him, he's like, hey, Patrick Mac Jones. And he's like, look at that piece of shit. And I just hear my son, God dang it, just start going downstairs. And I just, with Chris Jones and everything else, they're like showing like ancestors on him too, like cursing him, giving him an injury and shit. Just like everything I've seen about the Chiefs. The most recent one, Harrison Butker, they're like, yeah, he could have stayed at home and cooked, or made his wife a sandwich because he got 0 points and 0 field goals.
Well, dude, what was your favorite meme? Because I feel like mine was the boo-boo lip. Like when they got the up close, Mahomes boo-boo lip, where he's like, that was hands down one of the better ones. No, and apparently, I saw a video today that Nike was trolling Mahomes and the Chiefs because I guess Mahomes is a Reebok. He's sponsored by Reebok or Adidas. Why? Maybe it's Adidas. He's sponsored by Adidas. So the Nike, I don't know if it was on their socials, but they were playing the Kermit the Frog song talking about being green. So basically mocking him, I guess. I don't know if there's a history there or what.
Mine was, just any time that I could share a picture of him looking like Dak Prescott was, every single time that they're like, well, when's the last time the Cowboys? I'm like, bam, bam, bam. And they're like, you're not even making any sense. You're just posting memes. I'm like, bam, 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 bam. I was like, I've been waiting for this. And they're like, this just makes you look more pathetic. Like you've been waiting for this. I'm like, I give no shits. I kept sharing the SpongeBob, waiting for Squidward to come into work, like me just wait. And I'm like, see you guys at work tomorrow. Half the people called in. They burned a personal day because they thought they were going to celebrate. And I'm like, I'm texting them, where you at? I've been here an hour early. Where the f are you guys at? Oh, I'll see you tomorrow. Some of them didn't even text me. And I'm like, you're going to get it even worse. I was like, I'm going to see you on Tuesday. I'm going to unleash hell. And they have these little morning roundup meetings and everything. I just pop in there and I'm like, look at all these losers. Look at these guys. And they're just like, you're 19. And they're like, how long has it been? I was like, you guys had to wait 50 years for a dynasty. And I was like, I don't want to hear a damn thing about it. And they're like,
oh my God.
That window's closing.
It is. And I was like, I'm just so glad that we can finally settle this whole GOAT debate. And I was like, we can finally put this to bed. And they're like, and I'm like, you guys are so upset right now. I was like, this is so good. I love it. I love it.
Dude, there's no way Kelsey is going to be back next year. He was cooked this year.
Oh, yeah.
And the dude's, if he's making $19 million, if they cut him, or I guess highly restructure his contract, but if they cut him, they save $17 million. So that's gone.
Was there a
He's gotta
meme of
retire.
him? Was there a meme of him dressed like being like kind of like Soda's like Hunter Biden's like coke dealer?
And it was like Ron Burgundy, like his little.
Yeah, his suit was ridiculous.
Stupid hair and stupid suit. I'm like, is that Hunter Biden's drug dealer? I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Did he have a laptop in there? What's in the briefcase? But like, did you see I think NFL memes posted it too. There was the play where Mahomes fumbled, but he ended up getting on top of it. But like he scrambled around and Kelsey's just standing there. He's not doing absolutely anything. And I'm like, I think he's done. I don't know. He looks like he just does not give a fuck. He wants to ride that swift train to the promised land. He's done.
I mean, look, I get there's got to be a certain point where like he accomplished enough. Like I'm not saying that he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's a future Hall of Famer, right? But there's got to be a time where you make so much money over your career, you're successful, like you've won multiple championships. It's not like he's hunting for a championship, and now that the whole three-peat thing is over, what does he have? Like, what's the point? I mean, yeah, okay, maybe they could. I'm sure the Chiefs will be in contention next year because that's just who they are until I'm sure either Mahomes, goes away or, I mean, they're going to lose a lot of people next year. I'm sure.
Yeah, because their salary structure is weird. But I'm actually proud of him. He didn't fake any injuries. The way he got hit, I was waiting for him to start limping. I'm like he's going to fake an injuries to blame it on that. Like when it was 17-0, I thought this game's over. Like the war of the trenches. I'm like their D-line Eagles are just on him. Like they're just killing him.
That first pass interference penalty on the 4th and 2 where AJ Brown caught it.
Yeah,
I'm like, here we go. This is how the game's gonna be. And you know what? They must have like defaulted on their loan with the refs because we got some calls as well that were surprising, like calls we don't normally get either. So,
well, that's a conspiracy theory. Do you think the NFL heard all the chatter about the Chiefs and like, well, their times are up, and then they didn't get any calls, and they started getting calls against them, and you saw what they did?
I saw that on TikTok too, where they're saying, do you think it was staged with the refs to go against them, so now that no one can be like, oh, well, they get all the calls or whatever. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Hurts played way better than I thought he was going to. And Saquon played way less than I thought he would. Like, I thought Saquon was going to murder them, and he was just very mediocre. But Hurts, dude, I mean, he made play after play after play. I mean, he threw that one pick, but that was the only blunder that he had the whole game. He wasn't taking any sacks. He was running for – I think he had over 80 yards rushing.
Like
75, something. Yeah, like he played way better than I thought he was going to, and the parade's going to be ridiculous.
You're going to it? Yeah.
I took off from work. I bought hand warmers and toe warmers because in 2017 I couldn't feel either of those things. But I also went down at like 6 a.m. This time around I'm old, so I haven't decided because. There's going to be like, dude, there was probably, there was over 1 million people there in 2017 for sure. 2 million probably. There's going to be probably double that. So it was insane in 2017, like trying to take a piss or just moving anywhere. So I really want T-Dog to see it because it was cool. I mean, it was a once in a lifetime like experience, but it's also like, I'm more worried about finding a way to get there and then finding a way to get home because all the major streets are shut down. Like you have to basically take a train there and back, and that's what everyone else is doing because you can't get in. So, not the biggest fan of relying on public transportation.
No shit.
So I don't know. I'm on the fence. If we don't go down, we're still gonna go to a bar and. It'll be on, I'm sure, televised all, throughout the whole thing. So either way, we'll somewhat experience it. But I don't like knowing that, there's going to be giant lines to take a train home. And, what if we're sitting there for 4 hours just trying to get home? That I would be livid. I'd be so pissed. I know. I have no patience for that shit. Like if my Uber is like not, if it's like takes 8 minutes for them to show up, I'm irritated. You know, it should be 3 or 4 minutes. Where the are you?
Now, what did you guys think of the halftime show?
I didn't understand anything the guy was saying. I had no idea. I don't know any songs by whatever his name is, Kendrick Lamar. I don't know. I have any file on him. So even my kids are like, "What is he saying?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the halftime show, so I don't care either way. So I'm just like, I try to listen to it. I'm like, I don't know what he's saying.
I mean, I know some of his like hits just because, you know, like I've just heard them, but I'm not the biggest fan either. And I mean, apparently it was all like I've seen a bunch of stuff on TikTok about it being like a total feud of Drake. Like every single thing, like the controller, which is, you know, owned by, I don't know. I saw a whole bunch of fucking conspiracy shit about it was just one big feud of Drake. I don't know, but
And that's I don't listen to a lot of rap music either. I'm more of a rock music person, always have been. But I know a little bit of Kendrick Lamar, and I enjoyed the halftime show, but it doesn't take much to impress me. But I liked a lot of the messaging that he put to diss Drake, because apparently that SZA, the female performer, is an ex of Drake. And then Serena Williams, when she was crip walking and everything, also an ex of Drake. So I'm like, dang! I was like, he's just pulling out all his exes and everything, and just I don't know. And like just the teasing of playing Not Like Us throughout and everything. I don't know. I hearing everybody say A minor in that that stadium while rocking an A minor necklace. I'm like, damn, that's cold. And just seeing how many views it is, you know, Drake. There was only Patrick Mahomes and Drake both equally felt like they got royally at the Super Bowl. Then, did you guys see Pat Mahomes' dad and John Rocker getting into it too?
No.
That dude's insane. I mean, John Rocker is big as shit. I'm like, what does this think he is? He's gonna get, to be curb stopped.
And like honestly, he looks like every single like I don't know like stereotypical janitor, just lanky arms, and he's over there like the guy that's stopping him is like it'd be like me or Max trying to stop. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, just a random guy, and Pat looked like he didn't even want smoke from the guy trying to break it up. He was just trying to give it all to him because Rocker's just like, dude, come here. And Mahomes was like, you don't want none of that. And you can tell he's drunk. I'm like, hey, I hope you don't drive again, you idiot.
Dude, I didn't know this. Did you guys know that whether you win or lose, well, I learned 2 things today. Whether you win or lose, the teams still have an after party. So I saw the Chiefs one, which had who the was that?
Oh, was it 2 Chainz or Future? No, I can't remember who it was.
Start with a Q.
Oh, never mind.
I think it starts with a Q. I forget who the it was, but it's just like a bunch of just like drunk white people with Kansas City shit on. Quavo, I think is what it was. Was it Quavo?
I'm looking now. Yes, it was. Quavo still had to perform at the Chiefs after party despite them losing.
And like people are like cheering, but they're just like yeah. And then I also didn't know this. Did you know what they do with the Super Bowl winning T-shirts of the team that doesn't win? Because the NFL prints them both.
Sent to Africa, right, or some other third world country in South America.
they send it as charity to a third world country. So. And so there's going to be people in Ukraine, poor people, that are wearing a 2025 Super Bowl champion shirt for the Kansas City Chiefs, which never happened. But they got a T-shirt.
It's going to say three-peat. And like people are posting memes about that too. They're like, hey, these African children and everything saying, Chiefs three-peat? How? When the Eagles and 49ers won last time. What? Like, we don't get it. So, I don't know. I want to see I wish people would post like what it looked like. So it's just like, hey, Travis, you could have had one of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, someone from Ghana is going to be, because they have a hut house, but they have a cell phone somehow. They're going to post a video with one of those stupid shirts on. I didn't know what they did with them, honestly. I never really thought about it.
Yeah, I've never seen that available on like eBay, or I've never seen like the team that lost their shirts, hats, whatever. I've never seen it. Have you? You been?
I don't think so. That's what
I'd
I'm trying.
imagine a lot of them are being used as toilet paper. Like, we're talking like people that
Set on
probably
fire.
don't have toilet paper.
I get suckered into their videos when like back in the day on Facebook. This is probably even pre-TikTok days, but I'd be on Facebook and then it'd be like some sweet music in the background that sounds like wind chimes and everything else, and then you'd hear some Asian lady start singing. You're like, oh, this is kind of tranquil, and I like this. This is making me comfy. And then they're building like a in-ground like hot tub or something like that outside their hut, and I'm like, how are they doing this with their bare hands? I'm like, what is this? And the next thing I look, I'm like, this is a 15-minute video, and I'm like, oh, how did you trap me with your seance music and your carpenter skills? I'm like, you guys. And I feel like all of them can do this. Like, I haven't seen a video where they can't, so I'm not convinced that literally every single person over there can build a hot tub or some kind of water fountain thing outside their hut.
This year it's going to Ukraine, Mongolia, Georgia, Estonia, and Latvia. Those are the countries he's going to.
So Rob's gonna go on like on a tour. He's like, hey, my passport's gonna be stamped like crazy. He's like, I'm gonna go. He's just gonna go out there with everything equal they can. And they're like, wait a minute. He's just like, absolutely.
Buy like a fake Super Bowl ring and be like, bitches, what the fuck?
Like, who are you? You're like, Jake Elliott. Like, that's me.
Look, at the end of the day, though, dude, I mean, you got to give credit to RGM Howie Roseman. I mean,
I don't have to do
the shit that he pulled off, bro. Look, your owner just needs to die, and you'll be fine. Like, that's what it boils down to. Jerry Jones needs to die. He's already partially senile. I mean,
yeah,
did you spill ever?
Idiot.
I just went for it too.
I had a pipe cleaner that was stuck to my drink there. Didn't notice that. He does need to die. I have several text message threads with other avid Cowboys fans where we are colluding to personally visit him one day. So it's hopefully soon. But then Stephen Jones is going to take over, and is that really much better?
It's even worse.
Probably not.
How'd you feel about the head coach? I don't know if I heard you discuss that.
Oh, it was because I was on suicide watch. They wouldn't let me have my phone for 72 hours. And that was so between that and getting the flu and COVID. And I was like, and first of all, who is still getting COVID in 2025? When they told me that shit, I was like, huh? And actually, you know what, too? I had to, whenever they swabbed me, and this is why I felt bad because I laughed at you shit in your pants. I kept sweating profusely, like a whore in church. I looked like a cokehead, just sweating. You know, whenever you're sitting on that little medical table and it has that paper that's on there. When I got up, there was just my ass, just ass sweat on there. And I looked at her and I go, damn, look at that ass sweat. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's okay. It's okay. But while I'm talking to her, I'm sitting there like that meme from Key and Peele where he's just sitting there just profusely sweating. And I kept looking at the hand towel and I'm like, hey, can I grab this? Like, can I use this? She's, oh yeah, honey, help yourself. And I'm like, I'm dying. And then I just see my ass sweat everywhere. And I'm like, I felt my dress pants and I'm like, I'm soaking through this shit. And I was like, God damn. But they're like, hey, this test takes 15 minutes to swab your nose where they, reach the back of your skull. And
I hate that.
She came back 5 minutes later. She goes, whoop, yep, you look like a Christmas tree. You got flu A. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I figured my family had it. But I was like, damn. I was like, I feel like I got it worse than they did. And then as I'm leaving, you know how, I don't know if you guys get this, but I get like notifications when they update my chart. Like medical chart or whatever. And so the missus calls me immediately. She's like, holy shit, you got COVID too? And I was like, bitch didn't say I have COVID. I got flu A. Like, what are you talking about? I got COVID. And she goes, dude, it says it right there on there. You have COVID. And I'm like, so I turn around and go back. And I'm like, hey, do I have COVID too? And they're like, oh yeah, you do. And I was like, what do you want me to do with this shit? Am I going to work on Friday or not? And I was like, can you give me a note? And they're like, yeah, you probably shouldn't go to work. But they're like, you don't have a temperature, but like, so whatever you want to do. And I was like, you saw my ass sweat in there, didn't you? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, I ain't going to work tomorrow. but
dude, that happened to me last week. Was it last Friday? I think it was last Friday. It was like I could feel I was getting sick or something was going to happen because my like elbows were like achy.
Ooh,
like
stay
oddly,
off of them.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch. Not my knees. not my niece. But I'm sitting there and it's like 2 p.m. and I start to feel like felt like I worked out my back. And I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good. By 7, and I was home under the covers dying. And I was like, my fever was like 101.6 or 7. And it just kept going up. And T-Dog's over here, she's like, are you okay? I'm like, I feel like I'm dying. And then it lasted for like I literally slept from like 7:30, slept through the plane crash and everything. Woke up at like 7, 8, 9 in the morning, whatever, the next day. And like, I was still achy, but I was okay. But I died for like 24 hours. Easy. I was just dead.
And then all you hear is, it's the man cold. And I'm like, bitch, I'm sweating. I got ass sweat for days. Come on. Man cold.
Dude, it was bad. I was under like 3 covers, and normally I'm like one leg hanging out of the covers, because I'm fucking sweating. But it was. I guess it's just going around. Like, apparently it's like really bad this year with the flu and all that other shit.
Yeah, I've been lucky. I've missed it here. My kids have missed it too, so we've all been healthy. So, fingers crossed.
Well, the kids are like the starters, right? You guys both have kids, so I feel like the moment they get something, that's how it is at my office. They all have kids, and anytime someone's kid's sick, they're fucked.
Well, it's weird for me. I can avoid it. It's weird. The kids will get sick, my wife gets sick, and I'll be fine. I got to take care of them. But like something random will hit me, and like they're all fine. I'm just in shit. I'm going through hell. It's weird.
Well, you got that good immune system, man. That's what it is.
My friend from work swears up and down too, because once I told him, I was like, dude, I ended up getting COVID. And he goes, you know why? And I was like, you're stupid fucking there. He goes, it's because you wash your hands after you touch your dick. He goes, that's weird. He goes, you shouldn't wash your hands after you take a pee-pee. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, there's signs everywhere saying that you should and everything. He goes, and that's why I'll never get COVID. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I was like, you know what? I can't even disprove it is the thing. That's why I'm upset. And I'm like, you're not right, but you're also not wrong. And I'm like, that's very confusing for me. He's like, mm-hmm. And I was like, how many times do you shake people's hands? He goes, a lot. And I was like, that's disgusting. Disgusting.
Spread those antibodies.
Bert Kreischer, I think, has they talked about that on their podcast or whatever. He's like, my dick's clean as shit. I don't wash my hands after I take a piss. Like, never. Why would I do that?
See, and the thing is, though, is every time I whip mine out, I'm giving my balls a good scratching. So I'm like, there's no way in hell I trust I don't know about you guys. Something about just as soon as that air hits, I'm like, time to scratch my nuts. Got to scratch them.
It depends. Depends on, the day, the time. Especially like during the winter, it's not as bad, but especially during the summer. I mean, that's like an instant scratch.
Oh, yeah. And when you get a little of that sweat in there, you're like, ooh, this should have been a baby wipe. This might have been a hand towel scenario here. I overestimated. I should have went through underwear on this one.
And then you do the look around. You're like,
oh.
oh.
And that's when I'm like, time to wash these hands.
Can't touch the door after that. It's a dick
smelling
move.
your own brand just makes it. I don't know what it is. I'm just like, damn, I'm growing that right now. I'm like, that's me. That's all.
Everyone does that. Everyone. If they're saying no, whoever comments it, because I know he's gonna clip this somewhere. You all do it. Don't deny it. Just embrace it.
It's part of that lizard brain thinking, the caveman thinking.
I mean, if I scratch it in public, I'm just afraid. I know I'm going to smell it in public. I hope nobody's filming me because I'm going to be on a TikTok. It's like, look at that guy. He sniffed it. And I want the comment section to defend every single bro. That's a bro code. Be like, hey, who doesn't? Normalize it. Just give it. Because women are doing it too. Yeah, I guarantee they're going to
100%.
Cooking up a batch of sourdough. Come on. Now, I can think of no better segue too. I think you were sick when I posted this, but I know me and Burley ranked the different types of pizza here, like in the group chat. I didn't know if you guys had a preference on this as well, but let me go ahead and.
My life's been a little crazy. I have been on top of the group chat as I used to be, but I didn't see that.
I didn't see it either.
See, that's why I figured it'd probably work. And now if I can figure out how to share it. Oh! Now let's see. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go back to my normal screen here. Okay. So It says, which slice is superior? And there's 6 different options. There's Chicago, Neapolitan, Detroit, classic New York slice, tavern, and Sicilian. What's your guys' number? I mean, give me your top 2. What do you guys think?
Well, can we just put this out for starters? Chicago deep dish pizza isn't pizza; it's lasagna.
Thank
Have
you.
you guys had a true Chicago deep dish pizza?
Yeah.
You can't even like eat it normally. You almost have to use a fork and a knife.
Yep.
I feel like it's not pizza.
I agree. It's too thick. I don't know. It's just like it's too like if you can pick it up and it completely falls out like that, you're eating lasagna, and that's not even good lasagna.
Not even, dude. I'm telling you, when I was in Chicago like 4 years ago, we were like, all right, well, what's the best place to go? So we go to the like headlining place, whatever. We were at the pizza, and the pizza's only like this big, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? But it's this, it's like a cake. You're like, what the fuck? You cut it like a cake, and you get it. I'm like, this has full meatballs in it, full on meatballs in it. Like, I mean, it was good, but it's not pizza.
I agree. I mean, so if I put this back on here too again, I mean, if there's one to get rid of, can we all collectively say it's probably Chicago, right?
1,000%. Yep.
Okay. So we can automatically say this is trash. Now, let's remove another one. So, to me,
Neapolitan.
Yep.
I don't know, because I would still probably mess up a Neapolitan before I'd mess up a Sicilian. I don't know. If someone came up to me.
I love Sicilian. That's a top 2 for me.
Love you, Rob. That's my top 1 right there.
Yeah, we have some good Sicilian places around here. I don't get to, like, T-Dog loves the classic. So, like, I don't eat the Sicilian as much, but, like, growing up, that was, like, our staple thing. There's a place that we would go to, and their Sicilian pizza was just so good, dude. Ugh. Now I want it. I haven't had it in so long now that I think about it.
Well, you guys know, every time I get ready to leave here, we always have pizza. So I'm just like, well, I might as well just warm up and just figure out what I'm going to have here. But, see, if someone came up to me, if I was drunk on the street walking, they're like, hey, you want a slice of pizza? And I'm like, yeah. And they handed me Neapolitan. I would take all the green basil leaves off and shit like that. I don't need that. Don't put them on my pizza. And I would destroy.
I'm not saying I wouldn't eat it. Like, I would eat it. It's
yeah,
just,
same here.
like, all right, explain this to me. What's the difference between, like, Detroit and Chicago pizza? Because, like, I feel like I don't think I had Detroit pizza, like, in Detroit.
From my understanding, too, Detroit and Sicilian are actually very comparable, but the toppings are just on top of they have like the cheese is on the bottom, then it's the sauce, and then it's the pepperoni. I think is the way they do theirs. It's a little different.
I mean, I don't mind the sauce on the top. See, I'm a sauce guy, so like I know cheese is important on a pizza, but like to me, sauce is number 1. Oh yeah, T-Dog wants me to tell you the story about how I was very hungry, and I got us a pizza, and it was from a new place, and their sauce was on top, and the cheese, and we thought we would try it. Got here, and she dropped the pizza. I was like, it's okay, everything's gonna be fine. I'm like, no, it's not. The sauce is on top. It's ruined. So like, I was so hungry. I was so hungry, and and she was like, it's fine. I'm like, it's never gonna be fine. I look at the pizza, and all the sauce is on top of the box. I'm like, this pizza
God
sucks.
damn.
And she's fine because she loves cheese, because it was like that was like the next layer. I was like scraping the sauce off the top of the box. It's like, this was not supposed to be what it looked like.
That's a core memory for her. She remembers that too. She's like, I'm never gonna drop another box of pizza ever again.
We're gonna be 70. It's like, remember the time you dropped the pizza? My favorite Sicilian.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I probably still feel this. I mean, there's like you said, there's not a lot of pizza I wouldn't mess up, but I wouldn't be opposed to getting rid of Detroit though. I mean,
Detroit style pizza is a thick square pan pizza with the crispy crust and cheese that extends to the edges, and it's traditionally topped with pepperoni and Wisconsin brick cheese.
Yeah, I mean, we can get rid of Detroit. I'm not really. I'm
a slut for the cupped pepperonis, though. I would sit there and just eat
the old school pepperoni.
That's one of those ones where you're full. You're like, I don't really want another slice, but I'll mess up those pepperonis in that last one. Like I'll just kind of like DiGiorno. Oh man,
I love DiGiorno pizza. I love DiGiorno pizza.
I'm a fat And I'm so hungry.
Like the stuffed crust.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man, and the trick is just burn it just a little bit. Just don't. I love mine just a little bit done. I want that pepperoni to have almost like
A
like
charge
you're
to it.
drinking an old. Yeah, almost like you're drinking an old Pepsi at a 4th of July and your uncle ashed in it. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of a give you just a little bit of a zap. Just keeps you going.
It should be charred a little bit. I don't like the floppy. I don't want no floppy pepperoni.
That's not what I heard.
I'm surprised it took you that long.
That's what she said. Yeah, I don't know. I just if we had to get rid of one, I'm trying to do better about flopping between these screens here with that pepperoni. But the I don't want Matt to yell at me with the editing. But yeah, I would say so. Chicago, Detroit, we're just not big fans of city named pizza. That's what it is. You know, just if your pizza's named after a city, it's probably trash, with the exception of a New York slice.
Yeah.
If you see that crust,
Yeah.
if it doesn't have a little bit of burnt edging on that crust, I don't want it. I do not want it.
See, if the crust though, like I like a doughy big crust. I'm not the biggest fan of like thin style, like tavern style like that.
Yeah.
I like having the crust because I like to dip the crust in marinara.
Mm-hmm.
It's like another like side meal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean I want to be able to almost lose another tooth on that crust. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. Like if it ain't crunching like that, I don't want it. Especially if I'm up, I'm hitting the old Penn Griffey Jr. You know, I'm batting 1,000. I'm doing well, and I see a pizza rotating, and I'm like, ooh. I was like, how much is this slice of pizza? And if it's over $5, I know I'm getting it because I'm just like, that's got to be good. And I was like, theoretically, if you're charging this much, it's got to be good. Give me 2, sir. And I was like, how big are these? And if I see the crushed red peppers on the counter too, take my money. Oh God, I'm gonna get slutty with it.
They have that. They have that shit at the Parks Casino here in Philly. There's a pizza place, and they have the old school like turnstile shit that's just constantly turning, and you know that pizza's delicious because it's constantly being eaten by degenerates, and degenerates are making the pizza. You know, so it's like this lovely circle.
There ain't a dry pussy around when I'm eating a slice of pizza like that when I'm out, because they're like, damn, I bet he eats good pussy. Look at him eat that pizza. I mean, people looking at me, making eye contact. I'm making people's spouses uncomfortable. You should have seen me in Vegas. There's, that car or, his name is Buddy something. I forget, from Cake Boss.
Yeah.
He had his own pizza place in Vegas. I slammed in easily a dozen slices of that pizza. I probably spent $200 on pizza.
Jesus.
Who the hell is trying to call me at this time of night? You can eat my whole booty cheek. That's not happening. Now I really want some pizza. If she says, hey, I decided to get Chinese or something, I might honestly commit some domestic violence. I think it's warranted. Because I can think of nothing else besides pizza now that I want. And I'm upset about it. All right,
yeah, I really want Sicilian pizza now. And there's nothing around me here that I know of. It's like back around the home, my home.
Right, so, yeah. There's nothing around me open. In fact, our boy Ron, he came to my house for the first time of the weekend. From Barely's Flicks. So yeah, he came down. I showed him
on Yeezy.
I showed him town. He was like, there is nothing around you. I'm like, I wasn't joking.
It's like a blessing and a curse, though, right? I feel like it's nice because you don't have to deal with humans. But like, if you need something, then it becomes annoying.
Oh yes.
Like, you guys probably have people who knock. I mean, probably not you, Goot, but like, Rob, how often do you have people knock on your door?
I mean, we sometimes on a weekend will have like the solar panel people, or they're trying to, and we have cameras now everywhere. Like I've cameras, my front door, our downstairs door, and we have some cameras in here because my dogs like to be little. So, but the front door cameras are nice because when someone knocks, you get an alert of someone's at your front door, and I just do a peekaboo, and I'm like, oh, those people are selling shit. Nope. Not having it. But it's nice when you have cameras because you're able to see when your DoorDash is here. Like, oh yeah, you put that food down, bitch. All right, now get them out of here so I can creepily open the door without you realizing it and grabbing the food.
And taking my picture, just like when I don't want to be in the picture if I'm grabbing the food, even though I don't ever have that luxury unless I'm at a hotel. And if I'm coming out of that hotel room,
for that
I'm
photo
naked.
before. I'm like,
this is going to be gone in 3 minutes. I'm going to get slutty with it.
that was before cameras. Now that doesn't happen because I can know when they're leaving the front door.
I probably have somebody that knocks on my door once every 2 years. Like I never have anybody knock. And so today, since we have a whole bunch of snow, neighbor came up and he came to like the sliding glass door. So it scared the shit out of my wife. She's just like, who the hell is out there? And I was like, huh? She's like, it's not you. Who the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, it's Brian. What's up, dude? How are you doing? He goes, oh, sorry. He's like, I didn't mean to scare her. And I was like, no, we just never see anybody. I was like, she sees somebody standing outside. It's dark outside. And I was like, yeah, she frightens easily. But I was like, what's up? He goes, you want me to blade your driveway? And I was like, you're yelling at him and screaming. I was like, he's offering to do our driveway. I was like, yes, sir. Go ahead. Take care of that shit. Much appreciated. But yeah, didn't mean to get off topic. But I was like, man, I never have anybody who knocks on the door.
It's not often, but yeah, people can be quite annoying. I even had a bum sleep under my awning once, which was...
Was it my dad? Did you tell him I said hello?
I was like, yes, you've been whacking off. He misses you.
He said, oh, you know, I have been whacking off.
No, it's definitely one of those things where like we were coming down the steps here and T-Dog is like pinching me in the back, and like I assumed she was like being playful. I'm like, oh, okay, stop it, like one of those. And like she's like actively trying to push me into the house so we get in, and she's like, "There's a man sleeping under the awning." Which, if you guys have never, I'll take a picture of it. We're walking down the awning. His head he was like literally right there, and he had like a trash bag of his shit. And I guess I don't know if you just thought it was vacant or whatever. So we get in, and she's like, don't turn on any of the lights. We need to call the police. And like in Philadelphia, basically, you need to be murdering someone to call the police. So when I called the police, they're like, no, you have to call 911. And I'm like, I was like, what? Like, yeah, and then we'll connect you to the police. I'm like, that makes no sense.
They want a record of it.
So
Dispatch.
I did that. And they sent people out, and we're like, what the f are you doing here, man? And he goes, like, he was obviously like up and homeless, and he was like, just finding a place to stay, and thought it was vacant because we weren't here at the time, and there was no cars in the driveway. And I think at the time there was a for sale sign on the lawn at one point, so maybe he just thought it was vacant. But it's a weird feeling to come home and there's someone like actively sleep. Like, you don't know what a homeless person's going to do, like it stabbed us. We had no idea. And we're loud people. So it was a good thing we didn't like come in like yelling, and just laughing and shit like we would. Cause at that time we didn't have dogs either. But yeah, that was the time.
What if he had Sicilian pizza and a picture of your dad's dick? We'd be like, this guy's, he's trustworthy. Like, let him stay a little bit. He can stay a week.
I mean, if we're talking another Eagles Super Bowl, then I'm inviting him in to eat a piece.
It's like, come on in. I got an extra jersey. Come on in. Come on in.
You gonna eat dick pics, man? Hit me up. Let's go.
This is T-Dog. I think you guys have met.
These are my dogs.
She's like, no, that's not happening. But, I mean... Tavern pizza, I feel like, is underrated, but in comparison to some of these other ones, I don't know. I mean,
for me, it's got to be between Sicilian and classic. I mean, classic, even though it's classic, there's so many different variations of classic that we could be talking about it all day. I mean, not just like the fact that with toppings, but I mean, like, so many different Italian places make it so different that like you could get a classic slice here and there, and it's two totally different experiences. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And again, a good crushed red pepper will go have a slice that's a 2 out of 10 to 8 out of 10 when I'm fucking up. Like, that is, if there's some Parmesan cheese or some crushed red peppers, yes. And if I pick it up and grease is like forming into a napkin at the very tip, God, I know I'm going to get diarrhea, but it's so worth it.
Or it's the cupped pepperonis, and you can just see a pool of grease.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. If you're not getting pimples from eating the slice of pizza like 2 days later, you're not getting good pizza. Like, that shit needs to absolutely shit on your skin, make you look like a teenager again. God, I would stick that whole slice up my ass. So hungry. God. Goot's like, I'm pretty sure he would. Like, he knows I'm not bluffing. I'm showing my whole hand. I'll do it.
I believe you.
Crust.
Meanwhile, you're gonna go back, and the wifey's gonna be like, "Hey, I got Pizza Hut." You're like, "God damn it!"
So that was the thing. So for the Super Bowl. So damn it, she's probably not going to get pizza because we did have pizza for the Super Bowl. Because she was like, "Oh hey, I think I'm just gonna grab some like Pizza Hut." And I was like, "No." And I was like, "Stop." And I was like, "Just go get a Tony's pizza from the freezer." Then I was like, "What? Why are we doing this to ourselves?" And she's like, "Did you have another option in mind?" I was like, "Let's get some Domino's. Let's spice it up a little bit. It's like going from Home Depot to Lowe's." I was like, "Let's mix it up." Ridiculous. I destroyed that Domino's.
Oh, dude, I love Domino's.
And I always ask my kids, I'm like, "Do you want the Parmesan bread bites or the stuffed cheesy bread?" And they're like, "Both." And I'm like, exactly right. Yes. Yes. God. Yeah. Oh, and I even get like the bread bowl pastas too. God.
Oh, the bread bowl pastas are fantastic. It's the fattest thing on the planet, but it is goddamn delicious.
I'm sitting there with Goot's like, "I don't do that. I value my body and everything." I don't, Goot. I'm gonna die
It's
relatively
like
quick.
I dip like broccoli and cheese.
No,
or...
that I with pizza, I don't have any issues. I'm not biased at all. If it's a pizza in front of me, I'll eat it. But the bread bowl stuff, my wife used to get that, and I'm just like, this is whatever.
I will say though, like if we were to like rate like breadsticks, Little Caesars, baby, number one.
They changed it though. I would agree. If they go back to the '90s, now you know how they used
What do
to.
you mean they changed it?
Dude, the breadsticks that we get now from Little Caesars, maybe it's based on location. It is. If I showed you, you would cry. Like it hasn't been the same here in 5-6 years. I don't know what.
Oh, are you talking about like they're not as flat, right?
Is that what it is? Like thick and the same size almost, right?
Yeah.
The crazy bread was almost every stick was the exact same. Now it's like you get some that are this big and some of them are so thin and they don't taste the same. It's something
they're
changed.
definitely not the 90s like in Kmart Little Caesars. But
you remember when they were in Kmart too? Me too, dude. I love that shit.
But the marinara there, I feel like is just top tier too. Like the dipping sauce for it, it's just you're not getting it anywhere else. I'm sorry.
I actually got into a debate on the Pat McAfee comment section over. I don't know if you guys saw George Kittle. He wore his Little Caesars T-shirt, and Pat's a big Pizza Hut sponsor and everything. He's like, "Hey, that goes against everything we stand believe," and he just kept going pizza, 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 pizza. And so I commented on there. I was like, "Little Caesars is seriously underrated," and people were like, "Get out of here!" They're like, "It tastes like cardboard," and I'm like, "What?" And I was like, $5 pizza. You can still get. Was it $5.55 now or whatever? You can't beat that. You get that, and if you use the app, they were giving out free crazy bread and sauce. So I was like, slap that shit on, baby. Hell yeah.
I agree. I think it is underrated. And they have a lot more optionality now than they did. I mean, they have like pretzel crust.
Yeah.
Which is good. Have you tried it?
It's delicious.
It's so good. But they're like, "Hey, there's salt on it and it has nacho cheese or pretzel, like on it." I'm like, spit in my mouth. Like, yes. God damn it. And they're like, "Oh, we even sell like jalapeno cheese on the side." And I'm like, put 4 of them on there as well.
If you're getting less than, like, if you're only getting one dipping sauce with what you get, you're a sociopath.
That's what I'm saying.
It's 3+.
We should start an OnlyFans of us just eating pizza. And they're like, "Look at these gentlemen. Look at these fantastically pussy-eating gentlemen over here eating this, just devouring this pizza."
People would watch. People
I'm all in. Let's do it.
He's like, "Sign me up, baby." He's like, "These nips are percolating." God damn. Well, I just looked at the time too, and I mean, so let's hurry up and I guess you guys are going to say what, Sicilian? Is that what your overall number one pick is, or are we going to go to New York?
From that list, from that list, I picked Sicilian. 100%.
I go the classic New York. That's just the staple of it. I feel like I haven't had a Sicilian enough to crave it as often. Like this, I would crave every single day.
I would say classic only because not every Sicilian pizza I've had is like the one that I enjoy. But I still think it depends. Like Sicilian's still great, dude. And it's not lasagna pizza like Chicago and all that other bullshit.
Well, and I am going to quiz you, Rob, just because you were victorious this weekend and everything. But For the love of God, nationally, I saw at least 3 times where your fans misspelled Eagles. So can you give us one Eagles
Proper
spelling
ending.
lesson for us?
Oh no,
Yes.
it's ELGS Eagles now. That's
Ugh.
there's no prop like literally they picked the most person in the audience to ask to spell Eagles, and then like some attorney mayor, I don't know who that was, and then the mayor of Philadelphia. Like I don't understand. It is not a hard word. EAGLES Eagles. Fly Eagles
Okay.
fly. It's a normal thing. Like what? We're like one of the only teams that tries to spell their name as part of the thing, and they get it wrong. I don't understand.
If it makes you feel any better, Chiefs fans also misplace the I and the E. And a lot of times whenever I see them post about them, and I was like, just, football fans aren't smart, but they generate a lot of revenue, baby.
It's true. Most watched Super Bowl ever.
And I think a lot of that has to do with they just want to see Casey lose.
Yeah, probably.
So
It was very enjoyable for me.
salute to you. Unfortunately, it definitely could have happened to a better team, but very happy with the outcome. Just very unfortunate that you guys this happy. So
that's tough to say from a Cowboys fan and former Redskins fan. It's good to see the Chiefs lose and see the Eagles win, but it's at the same time it's like doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
And with Goot and I, we get to ride the coattails of it as well, because every single time that a dynasty is ruined, it usually seems like it's the NFC East. It's not us, but we support you guys for making us look even better.
Look,
So
say what you want. At least we're not like an unlikable team. Like, we're like
I give them that.
look at the personalities. Like we're not like an I feel like the Chiefs are unlikable. I hate the Chiefs. Like they're unlikable. At least like you can like Jordan Mailata quoting Bane as he's destroying people. Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
Where he's like, I was wondering what would break first, your mind or your spirit, or your spirit or your body. And I was like, I love that guy instantly.
I love seeing the quotes from it and everything, and just and then everyone burning Kermit the Frog. That was the absolute last nut that I had of the night. When I saw that, I was like, oh God. I was like, this is a great day. So, but
I was waiting for Matt to comment, Philly.
Yeah, I see Matt's in here, so we can have a proper sign off, but we will leave you with one last Philly. Congratulations, Max, you piece of shit.
Fly Eagles 5, baby.
Hit us with that outro.